And what a cameo from Troy Hardy. Some of your best work there, Troy. Thank you for joining us. Now go back to calling your camera shots. Back underway here, round 5 of the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership. A good little game brewing here, and it is the West Auckland Brick and Block Glenora Bears who lead 6 points to 0 over the Gilmore's Bay Roskill Vikings. And you would have to say, as I touched on at the back end of the first half, it's Glenora who have had the better of the arm wrestle, but Bay Roskill remaining right in this one so far. Chase Bernard's been pretty good through the first half as well, nice and busy. Played the full first 40. Paia Manukia. Timothy Vogel, pound for pound, he's holding his own defensively. Fresh legs on the park towards the back end of the first half. Last coming up now for the Bears. Tippins with options either side. And Yoka will kick in behind. Vogel collects and runs the football back, although he's pretty upright, which allows Glenora to then drive him back, and the gain is minimal in the end. Jerome Vogel.
Yeah, that's a very, very good first set. As you see a change over here, a knock on there by Bay Roskill. I was just about to say, Corey, that's actually a very good first set by Glenora. They marched Bay Roskill all the way up the end of the field and turned it over inside their 10 metres. So that's an ideal start. They've obviously shown their hand up. No, another error here by Glenora.
Well, I think we've just about had more knock-ons than we have tackled so far in the second half. What a shocker. Anyway, scrum will pack back down now. It'll be a Glenora feed. Sometimes you've just got to laugh. As TJ said, it's nice not to be coaching on days like this.
Yeah, definitely, especially after those ones. Yeah, again, like surely the message here from the on-field boys are just saying, yeah, let's just complete the set. But I just think, the way that Glenora play, they like to play through the middle. But I think if they can, they've got some strong back rows as well. They've got Riulu Buchanan. I like the look of Daniel. I spent some time with him in the Auckland side a couple of years ago. But I reckon if they can spend a bit of time just punching on those tram lines, it might open up a bit of space around the middle of the field for them to get back, the likes of Swapi and is it Paia Manukia as well through the middle. Those are some big forwards which will open up a bit of space.
Not far off the line here. The Bears. Tippins appealing for a penalty. Might have had a case there. Yoka to the line. Shows it and then carries himself. Gets twisted under 3 tacklers, including his opposite number, Ben Henry. Tippins goes left. They shift play on. Is there a little gap there? Yes, there is. The Bears are over. Ben Henry's taken exception to something on the ground, but it is, I think, Clive Tuifua, and it is. The number 4 for the Glenora Bears, Clive Tuifua, who finds just the smallest gap, able to get over the line and get the football down. Nicely done by the Bears, and a chance to double their lead.
Yeah, as we look at the SAS instant replay there, it was a nice cut-out pass by Dean Coker-Smith there on the short side. Again, mentioned this in the first half, Corey. I believe that the left-hand side of Glenora is probably their strength. And that play there was just set off the back of a good run by Zion Ioka. He went deep into the line there, taking his back rower. Opted to take the run that time, but he got a decent play the ball away and created some space on his edge.
You just get the feeling Tony Benson's halftime chat, although we've seen a couple of errors already, I think he's probably achieved exactly what he set out to with the halftime chat, because the Bears do just have a little bit of a different look about them so far in this second spell. So conversion to come from Mosia Serra. So kick is wide. West Auckland, Brick and Block, Glenora Bears 10. Gilmore's Bay Roskill Vikings 0. 4.5 gone in the second half. It's the Bears who make the fast start. Jerome Ropati's holding conference with Joseph Green again. Noticed this last week as well. Bay Roskill milk every second they can out of these breaks in order to allow them to speed up the game. So you'll see they rush to scrums and everything, and this is where they take their break. So if you're wondering what some of the longer stoppages are, I believe that is very much part of the tactics.
Yeah, that's just about. I think that's part of their game plan. There is they utilise as much time of the field as it's a successful short restart, is it?
Yes,
oh,
there
what's
we
he
go.
done here?
What's the call going to be? We've got a Bay player down. Michael Poulet. He's in trouble here, Michael Poulet. So, not sure if it was the head or a knee. It looks like it might have been the knee there for Michael Poulet. So that's not good to see. I'm not even sure who has recovered the ball in the end there. But time off now while we deal with the injured player. So not what we wanted to see early on. Take a look here. We might get a look on the SAS instant replay. So that's back off Glenora from what I can see. Oh, dear. Michael Poulet has just collected the head of Jarvis Leosevi. In fact, Joel Leosevi. And friendly fire. They've both felt it, but Michael Poulet's come off the worst for wear there. So just one of those unfortunate collisions. So a break now while the injured player is dealt with. Great turnout here from the Bay Roskill fans. You can see there the hill, the families. There's Rob Vogel, the team's manager. Nice and relaxed there, Rob.
It's definitely an unfortunate turn of events there, Corey, but it's probably a good opportunity for Bay Roskill to reassess how they've come out early in the second half. It's probably not the start that they wanted after only being, conceding one try in that first half. But take this time. They're going to have a bit of a reshuffle here because I've got a couple players down, which I think both of them might be leaving the field by the look of it. But again, reassess some of their short-term goals here and look what they want to try and achieve. So big set here for Bay Roskill, and hopefully these two injured players on the field come away okay.
Yeah, well, we've got a bit of dead air to fill. Of course, the big matchup for us this weekend, TJ, is we're playing each other in NRL Fantasy. Now, got to say, you spent a fair bit of time in my office perfecting your team through the preseason, and you're coming up pretty good. It may come back to bite me.
It may do, Corey. Actually, this is probably the first year I've taken fantasy quite serious. Those of you who don't know me, I'm a big Melbourne Storm fan, so the last couple of years I tend to just pick my own Melbourne Storm players in my fantasy team, and I realise that that's not necessarily the best way to go, and Corey himself and his brother are quite decent at fantasy, so I've just been picking his brain. And yeah, it's coming back to bite you, I think, Corey, because I'm in front by about 100 points at the moment, and I don't think you'll claw me back in the next 2 days from the personnel that you've got on board, so unlucky to you.
Yeah, there you go. You heard it here first. He's calling it a victory. Because I think it's a family affair for TJ as well. I think Dad's right into it as well, and I'm told from young Cooper that he's going to get into it next year as well.
Yeah, he's getting a phone overnight actually, and he said the first app he wants is the NRL Fantasy app. So it's touche on that one too, Corey, because my dad was no good at it either, and he asked obviously for a little bit of help, and I gave the advice that you gave me to him, and he's now been. I'm in a league against him head to head every week, and he's actually in front by the last couple of weeks, man. So it's come back to bite myself in the backside as well.
There we go. Back under play. Surely by the end of it, I'll be invited to the Christmas function. Anyway, we've got an error off the scrum, believe it or not. So after all that, Glenora make an error straight off the scrum, out the back of the scrum. Crucial to note that Bay Roskill have lost two players from that head collision. So both Michael Poulet and Joel Leosevi are gone. So Joel Leosevi, he was an 80-minute edge-back rower. Michael Poulet came off the bench to, I think, replace Ezra Vogel, didn't he? So they're in the wars here.
Yeah, well, that's both starting back rowers gone now. So those are very hard positions to cover. You tend to normally cover a utility, which I believe Bay Roskill's got Timothy Vogel on there as a utility. And then you normally carry three middle forwards. As we see a little break down the right-hand edge. Nice little pace.
Taniela!
Oh, unlucky.
Sliding defence to die for there from the Bears. Cocker Smith wants to get going again. I didn't catch who it was to come up with the key play. He was through, wasn't he? But Glenora just managed to shepherd him out wide and save a certain try. So the Bears now rucking the ball off their own line. Action aplenty here at Blockhouse Bay Reserve. There's only 10 points on the board, but it's been a brilliant game to commentate. Just short of halfway now, the Bears, as Manukia looks to milk a penalty. Bernard, oh, gorgeous ball at the line from Chase Bernard, but it's going to be called back. See if we can get a look at that on the instant replay. To the blind eye, it looked like he'd nailed it. And we'll get a look here. Bernard, he's so good at this ball playing at the line here. Chase Bernard. And forward. Great call from our on-field official, Joseph Green.
Yeah, just a bit of coaching feedback for those young kids watching there. I believe if Chase Bernard went to the line there carrying the ball in two hands, he probably would have executed the pass a little bit better. So, but look, that's a very nice play by Chase Bernard. I think that's definitely how he's going to get this Bay Roskill side at the end of the game. It's just they've got the big forwards, Corey? So when you're running in pairs or in triples like that, you're a bit more of a threat. It allows you to keep a few defenders off those ball carriers. So look to see a bit more of that from Chase Bernard.
Yeah, and, I've each year got him in my top 3 front rows in the comp, and like I say, I think he's the best of the ball players in that regard. He takes the ball to the line beautifully and is able to play out the back door or a nice short ball like that. But that time the execution a little off as Kenneth Henry now plays short at the line and the ball comes loose. So I think a knock on each way, which will mean it's a Bears ball because it was certainly off Bay first. Junior footy underway as of last weekend across Auckland as well, with our new JDF Junior Development Framework in place. Great to see the first receiver and dummy half bibs out in force, and of course the first part of the season for the Sixers played as Kiwi Tag, which I'm a massive fan of. We had Adam Blair in the office the other day talking through that, and I know he's enjoying the rules as we try and improve the experience for our youngest players. So a big thank you to all of our volunteers who are making junior footy happen, and of course all our young superstars out there. Glenora worked the short. Vailua Falialo up over halfway. Again, they go the short. Chaz Brown. Lua Falialo will bring play back to the middle. Yoka to Bernard. Bernard dummies and then passes. Cartier dancing, offloading. Chaz Brown, great pickup off the shoelaces. 40 off their own line now. It is the West Auckland Brick and Block Glenora Bears who lead this one 10-0. 50 minutes gone here at Blockhouse Bay Reserve. Up out of the line quick there. Who was that? It's the 17. Mark Sifa. Zion Ioka changing direction under heavy pressure from Ben Henry. Vogel took that one nicely. Shakes free of the first and then swallowed up by Riley Buchanan and Chase Bernard.
Yeah, Corey, just a few updates from around the grounds as well. Over there at Burton Park, Point Chev jumped out to a big lead just after half-time against Otahu Leopards, leading 32 points to 4.
So we see a knock on there. Sorry, TJ.
That's all right.
Josh Chanielu put that one down. Looks like he might have picked up a knock as well. We'll go back to some of the updates from around the grounds.
Yeah, the only other one that we've got in at the moment as well is the one played at Birkenhead War Memorial between Northcote Tigers and Howard Hornets. And Howard keeping them scoreless at the moment, currently leading that contest 20 points to 0.
So Point Chev look like remaining unbeaten. Right now Glenora do as well. And as do the Howard Hornets. So at this stage, no change in that top group.
Now, we mentioned that in the first half as well, Corey. Those are the 3 teams that if they were to win today, I believe they put at least 5 points gap difference between 3rd and 4th place. So, it looks like if they can get away with another couple of wins, these top 3 teams, then they'll probably cement themselves in that top 5 position there.
Boy, that looked ugly for a second. I thought Ben Henry got the head in all the wrong position there and copped a knee, but back up to the feet, thankfully. Zaonioka, he clears the ruck. Goes to little bro Cartier. Carrier holds up and then goes. It's almost a Ioka three-peat there. Utah was on the shoulder. Utah will clear the ruck. Goes to Chase Bernard. Paia Manukia to Riulu Buchanan. Oh, what a carry from Daniel Riulu Buchanan. Bumping and barging. He's got that real unique carry on him. He carries very low to the ground, awkward to tackle. And that time just keeps on running, gets over, and Glenora stretched lead out to 14-0. Kick to come.
Yeah, as we look at the SAS instant replay there, nice little long pass there by Chase Bernard and a little three tip on there to Daniel. But again, just a bit of strength close to the line. He's been able to burrow in there. I think I spoke about this earlier as well, Corey. I think that's the go-to for Glenora. I think they need to probably get to their second rows a little bit more, especially now more so with Bay Roskill's starting back row currently off the field injured. So if they go to the likes of Daniel more often, I think it'll open up a bit more space for the likes of Chase Bernard and Swapu when he eventually comes back on as well to tip the ball on a few more times.
So Mosiasera to attempt the conversion, a chance to make it 16. Nails it right over the middle. West Auckland, brick and block. Glenora Bears 16. Bay Roskill Vikings, sponsored by Gilmore's, 0 right now, 53 and a half gone. And in number terms, the gap's not huge right now on the scoreboard, but you do just feel like Bay Roskill are going to need to be next to strike. Have certainly been well beaten so far in this second half, both in field position and on the scoreboard. So Henry, well, they almost regathered the kickoff the last time. I reckon they'll go short again here. What do you know? So high one, Tanielu roaring down. Nicely taken there by Mosiasera. He did well there with the player breathing down his neck. Now Manukia. Timothy Vogel, he's been excellent defensively since coming on.
Yeah, all those Vogel boys, Corey, they're quite strong and tough. They play well above their weight. So, no, that was just a coffee book tackle there. He's hit the target zone, any of those young ones watching the or listening to the broadcast today. And that's a prime example of a good tackle there from a smaller body.
Ioka now accidentally charged down. This will be a Bay Roskill ball. Oh, Ropati. Boy, that was a near thing. Vogel charging forward. Here we go. The Vikings with a bit of momentum. The reserve is chirping. Timothy Vogel goes to Kaliopasi in front of the SAS uprights. Paia Manukia, he's just about been their best forward since he came on. He's been excellent. Vogel rocking the blonde mullet. Quick hands at the line. Mackenzie Cutter back on the field as well. They've got no choice. I think they've run out of players. Bay Roskill. Ropati. Oh, the ball's put down by Kaliopasi. Scooped up now by Mosiasera, who breaks free. Tanielu just in the nick of time. They're struggling here. Bay Roskill have got no one back on the right side defensively. Just making their way back into the line now. Now the ball's loose. It's a strip. So kick for touch. It's a fair bit of on-field chirping between the two teams going on out there as well. Clive Tuifua, try scorer from earlier in the match. Utah Ioka bounces off the right and then drives those legs. Ball loose. Well, ooh. Another strip is called. It's hard to tell from our angle. Here's Swapi. Kavaliku taken down around the legs by Sheneth Henry. Manukia. Oh, Manukia twisted up. There was a grimace there. Back to his feet, thankfully. Levi. Coker Smith gets rushed. Dribbles a kick in behind. Trying to watch it go. Oh, nicely done by Vogel. Patient as anything there.
There's a nice little play there by Zion Ioka as well. He just straightened up the attacking line quite well. I think if they had a bit better shape out the back of shape there, they probably would have come away with some points. But definitely, I like the look of number 7 for Glenora. I think he needs to touch the ball a little bit more and probably be the dominant half in this team. It looks like they like to go right a fair bit. But if he can, again, get some early ball to Daniel out there on the left-hand edge, I think they'll score a few more tries in the back end of the second half.
He's certainly one of the better secondary school playmakers I've seen, Zion Ioka. He was completely dominant at Kelston at a time where a guy like Beau Courts was also running around. Beau Courts, of course, last year with Point Chevalier. Bay Roskill now are going to get a penalty. There's plenty of energy here at the Blockhouse Bay Reserve. Ropati gets everybody can out of that one. That's a good kick for touch from Jerome Ropati. So Joel Elsevi's back on the field. Looks like he might have had a couple of stitches to the head as they work now down the left-hand side. Matt White. Oh, Karia Ioka, great contact. Crucial that they stopped his momentum there. They're right up against their line now, the Bears. 58 and a half gone. It is the visitors who lead 16-0. Henry over the top to Tanielu. Surely they'll have the numbers here. Oh, it's fallen apart at the death.
Awesome, Bears. Awesome.
Man, I just think Josh Tanielu just held on to that ball for a second too long there, Corey. But a great shift of the ball there by Bay Roskill. As you can see here on the Sassons, I think just right there, that skip there, he already had him beat. I just think he needed to sacrifice that and try and get a tidy pass away. And we definitely would have seen the way that Jarvis Leosevi has been finishing off tries the last couple of weeks. He definitely want to finish that one off for sure.
Yeah, what could have been? That's two that, unfortunately, Jarvis Leosevi hasn't been able to gather in, and I'm certainly not saying that was his fault because, yeah, the pass was just a little off. Josh Tanielu done all the hard work there. So Lua Falialo now finds his front straight away, gets a quick play of the ball. Chaz Brown now. Great run, Chaz Brown. Chaz has picked up, oh, it might just be cramp. Timothy Vogel again, leading from the front with his defense. Karia Ioka gets to his kick. Vogel is under it, takes an unkind bounce, but is going to go dead in the end. So Bay now back out to the 20 as the Glenora big boys jog back into the line. Vogel takes off. Vogel beats the first one and then ragdolled to ground by Chaz Brown. Very slow play the ball.
Yeah, Chaz was lucky not to give away a penalty there. I think he held down for quite a bit of time. But, geez, this Timothy Vogel's impressed me since coming off the bench too, Corey. He's a bit of a live wire, man. He's picked up the tempo a little bit, and his defence has been outstanding for a smaller body as well. So credit to Timothy for putting it, as we see a break here.
Tanielu gets through the first one. The support player may have been taken out. Josh Tanielu. That is simply brilliant. Magical footwork from Tanielu, breaks down the right, steps back in through the middle, and the Bay Roskill Vikings, they're on the board as the hour mark ticks over.
Yeah, outstanding run there, Corey. Again, you know, Josh Tanielu, we've been watching for the last couple of weeks. He's been outstanding. He's just got that little left-hand fin that he's just, I think, is a little bit, you know, it's quite lengthy in the arms there. As you can see there, he pushed away on the Sassons to replay, and some great late footwork there, and it was turned into a foot race against Dean Coker-Smith towards the end there, and he's managed to find it under the post and bring Bay Roskill Vikings back into this game.
Yeah, we're a bit critical of his pass a minute or so earlier, but that time he did everything right.
Nah, forgive him now, man. I forgive him now. Outstanding. Nah, look, Corey, he's been outstanding the last couple of weeks, man. He's definitely a find. I haven't noticed him too often playing for Bay Roskill over the last couple of years, but he's been outstanding. So he's definitely turned into a strike weapon for Bay Roskill Vikings.
And I, of course, haven't seen all of the teams yet through the qualifiers, but to me, he's just about the standout centre attacking-wise. You nailed it, I think, TJ. He's sort of a rangy build, and he's got those long arms. His fender's excellent. And that time showed the footwork and the smarts as well to round Dean Coker-Smith. That's not an easy job to get around him. So kick to come from Ben Henry. And a nice easy one to start with here for Ben. Flags go up. Gilmore's Bay Roskill Vikings hit back. There's a 10-point lead, though. It is the West Auckland Brick and Block Glenora Bears who are in control with about 17 to play here at Blockhouse Bay Reserve.
Yeah, Corey, just a few updates from around the grounds again. It looks like game might be over here for Otahuhu Leopards down there at Burton Park. Point Chevalier currently leading that contest 40 points to 8, so they look like they're running away there. And, not true to my call. I thought Northcote could have upset Howick this week, but well done to Howick Hornets. They're currently leading that contest 34-0 against the Northcote Tigers.
So the top three looking set to remain unbeaten, but Bay Roskill might have something to say about that as they look to overcome and upset this unbeaten Glenora team. Ropati had to awkwardly get down to catch that one. Kavaliku involved in the tackle. Vogel goes to Ben Henry. Henry thought about the pass, but the Glenora line had read it and was clever to hold on to it in the end. He's taken down 40 off his own line. Kaliopasi to Ropati. Ropati digs into the line and then goes to Vogel. It's fairly slow getting across there, though, and Glenora well and truly ready for it by the time the ball arrives. They're just inside their attacking half now. Bay Roskill. Ropati puts one into the sky. Timothy Vogel, who else is bearing down on Coker-Smith, who takes it like a pro and then gets set upon. Well, suddenly just a bit more spice in this contest. The penalty here, though, will help Glenora.
Yeah, some good news there for Bay Roskill as well. Corey, as I see, number 12, Joel Leosevi is taken back onto the field as well on that kick chase. So he's come out of that head knock okay, so good to see him back on the field. I was just looking at the point standings as well, Corey. I know Bay Roskill is still in here on this this contest, and if they can come away with a sneaky win here against Glenora, that actually puts a big two-game gap in between them and fifth place as well. So it could be a big game for Bay Roskill here. So they just need to hang in there and string through sets together and hopefully come away with some points.
And of course, the aim is to be in the top 8 as we see a mistake now, and Kenneth Henry fired up about it. I think there's about 200 Bay Roskill fans here pretty fired up about it as well. Just back to the ladder, TJ, of course, that the aim is obviously to avoid dropping down to the second tier, but points carry through, so it's very much important that while keeping an eye on remaining in there, that you're accumulating points as well.
100%, and I think that's what I do like about how the structure is at the moment. It's not as if, you can make the top 8 and you're safe there. Like if you haven't done well in that first half of the season, it's pretty much your season over once you get in that top 8. So, keeping up with those lead teams at the moment, the front runners, that's definitely something that you need to do if you want to be winning the Fox Memorial in 2021. So, but some great defence there by Bay Roskill. Honestly, you mentioned the supporters there, Corey. It's like sitting in Mount Smart Stadium. They're noisy and they're getting right behind their team here, cheering them on.
So penalty now, which will further aid their cause. So a tap and go. Turn down the chance. I think they've got this Glenora team blowing a bit here. So want to keep the tempo up. This Kaliopasi to the other big body, Mackenzie Cutter. I say the other big body because there's not too many of them in this Bay team. Vogel, he clears the ruck and links with Ropati. Ropati to the line! And the ball is put down by Vogel. The pass was a difficult one. Chaz Brown with a cheeky little pat there.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate. If Jerome had his time over again, he definitely would have put a bit more effort into that pass, and they needed to definitely build a bit of pressure there, Corey. They just they got to take these opportunities, and they might not get too many more in the last part of the second half. So it's going to come down to a big one there, unfortunately for Bay Roskill.
Yeah, it's been a couple of key moments, hasn't there, that Bay Roskill just haven't iced, but still well and truly in this one as we head to the final 12 minutes. Trust you're enjoying the coverage wherever you're tuning in from around New Zealand or indeed the South Pacific through Pacifica TV or perhaps further afield. I know we've got a few fans over there in England and expats in Asia as Suape takes a huge run. Oh, vintage Kavaliku. You got to love it. Or maybe not if you're a Bay Roskill defender. Levi to Bernard. Bernard ball plays at the line. Ioka brings in Corker Smith. This is nice from the Bears. Chaz Brown now into a little bit of space. Steps back in, breaks free. Lua Falialo. Nice from Glenora. The Bears with what could well be the killer blow in this one. A beautiful right side shift. Class from Chaz Brown, and Lua Falialo does the rest.
Yeah, just that play right there, Corey, as we look at the SAS instant replay. Cartier Ioka engaging on the line, so he went deep into the line there. What that does is that just stops those inside supporters actually getting across to save that shift. And Chaz Brown, the experience there, gets inside one of the Vogel boys, and a nice little draw and pass for Lua Falialo to score in the corner there.
Yeah, it's good rugby league there from the Glenora Bears, and I'm sure will please Coach Benson, who has probably spent much of this game a little frustrated at some of the mistakes from his team, but you would think at 20-6, Glenora inching closer to remaining undefeated, and deservedly so. Certainly have not had it all their way today, but have remained in the arm wrestle and now appear to well and truly be finishing the better of the two sides. So 20-6, kick to come.
Yeah, that drop ball ended up being costly down the other end there too, Corey. And got to give a bit of credit to Chase Bernard there on that shift. We didn't see it on the SAS instant replay, but he was the one that delivered that block play to Cartier in the first place. But having a front row like that, he can literally ball play like a half as well. So that's, you know, he's not only strong with his carries, but he's also got a strong left to right passing game and right to left as well. So you know, well done to Chase Bernard there. I think he's a bit of credit needed to be given to him for that one.
So Mosia Seta attempts the conversion from out wide. It's hanging up in the air, hits the post and goes over. West Auckland, Brick and Block, Glenora Bears 22, Gilmore's Bay Roskill Vikings 6 with 10 to play. Chase Bernard, if I'm correct, I think was over at the Melbourne Storm for a little while, perhaps in the age grades or lower grades, and he's certainly extremely skillful for a big man.
Well, there you go, Corey. Melbourne Storm says it all, buddy. I've actually been giving a bit of stick to one of my colleagues, Vigo Rasmussen. Unlucky on Thursday night there, Vigo.
Yes, Vigo, South Sydney fan, so TJ, a box of birds this weekend. Glenora, bring it off the line. Chaz Brown, well, he got in there and gave Kenneth Henry a bit of a shove, which Kenneth didn't appreciate.
Yeah, Bay Roskill seemed to muscled up on the set as well, Corey. So they still believe that they're in this game, and credit to them. That's been the belief for Bay Roskill this whole game. So well done to them. If they can again get some early points here, they might, you know, bring this game back into contention. But they need to get some points early.
In the context of things, I got to say I like what I'm seeing here from Bay Roskill in terms of their attitude against one of the better teams in the comp, as we see the ball go loose and just about something special, but ends up going out, and the Glenora players have a bit of a chuckle. But just back to what I was saying there, I think the character being shown from Bay Roskill right now, okay, looks like they'll go down here. but the top 5 will make the playoffs this year, and I think Bay Roskill will certainly fancy themselves. They'll know that they can play better than they have today against Glenora, and I'm sure we'll look forward to the next time they get a chance against one of the top teams. They've already played Mount Albert and now Glenora, but a few more big challenges to come, but positive signs, I think.
Yeah, fully agree with you there too, Corey. And they're going to get an opportunity to play against some of those middle-of-the-pack teams as well and try and extend their lead. And if they play with that sort of enthusiasm and courage a couple of those games, they'll definitely come away with a win. As we see unfortunate offload there as a changeover goes to Glenora.
Oh dear, that one was ill-advised, wasn't it? And now Glenora with the chance to really seal the deal here. Really Buchanan, Levi, son of Fale, one of the assistant coaches with the team. Here's Chase Bernard. That man deserves a try today. He's been excellent. Levi will clear the ruck. Jumps out to his right. Links with Cartier Yoka, who dribbles in behind and will be patiently left by Vogel. Back out to the 20. 7 to play. Vogel. Don't give him a gap. Makes it out to 35 off his own line. Henry to Ropati. Ropati dummies and goes across field. Really Buchanan tackling down low. Tanielu.
Been pretty impressed with Ben Henry too. This is a man that's had quite a few injuries in his career, playing at not only the NRL level, but I think he injured his leg, was it last year or the year before as well, with a bad kneecap injury. And credit to him, working his backside off to get back in the side, and he's been playing some good football the last couple of weeks, and he's got a lot of energy here on the park today, doing a lot of tidy up work on defence. So well done to Ben Henry.
Taniela will clear the ruck off a carry from Ben Henry, who's looking a little ginger. Leo Sevi breaks through the first one. Leo Sevi looking for an offload. Desperate tackle down low. I didn't catch the number there, but that is a try saver now. Is that a cynical foul? No sin bin coming, which Bay Roskill aren't happy about. So a tap and a go. Here's Mackenzie Cutter. Pops the offload out the back. Ropati to Leo Sevi. Oh, Leo Sevi did really well to hold on to that in the end. I thought he'd lost it on first view, but pulls it back in. Timothy Vogel swings backdoor to Ropati, over to Henry. Henry with a bit of footwork, then links with brother Sheneth, who then throws a harbour bridge up over the left. This is Vogel looking for options. Heads out to the direction of Matt White. Glenora, though, stoic on their line. They've been breached just once today as Vogel burrows low. 5 and a bit to play. Ropati to Henry. Henry, a little dink over the top. Ball is loose. Cleaned up by Mosi Acera. And brings the football back. Kavaliku to Bernard. He's played the full 75, Chase Bernard. In the middle of the park. Kavaliku. The 5'8" on the props body. A shout out to Tony Tui there as well, who'll understand. Set up about 3 tries in Halleck's win last week. Really Buchanan, ball comes loose. Bay to go back on the ball. What a career Swapi Kavaliku has had. I think was at Otahu originally. Went and enjoyed a whole lot of success at Mount Albert, won the Roop, and then since going to Glenora has won a premiership and won the Roop there, and a couple of weeks ago must have really enjoyed going back to Felds Park and wrestling the Roop off Glenora. Off Mount Albert, I should say.
Just as we come to the back end of our coverage as well, just another update that we've got on one of these scores. There was a tight contest between Marist Saints and Papakura Sea Eagles. Marist Saints currently leading that contest 28 points to 18.
So Vogel, in the end, there's a mistake, and Chaz Brown's at the heart of it again. Scrum getting ready to pack down, and on the post-match results we'll have match reports from every game on aucklandleague.co.nz at the conclusion. Cooker Smith. Mistaken here, the Roskill crowd. 80-minute performance from them.
Nah, I think what it is, Corey, is obviously there's a bit of a battle on here between two teams down on the field, but there's actually two groups of supporters up on the hill there, and they're actually trying to out-cheer each other because they're trying to get a one up on everyone after every win. So well done to both supporters today. You guys have been outstanding, man, and obviously hasn't been the best conditions, but credit to all of you guys for coming out and cheering on your local footy clubs today. It's outstanding.
Yeah, it's what it's all about at grassroots level, and we certainly appreciate it. It certainly makes for a better game for us as commentators when we can hear you in the background there as Tanielu goes to the line looking for a gap. Won't find one there against Clive Tuifua, who's been really good today in the centres. Scored a try and pretty good defensively as Henry jumps out and swivels. Looked like he was playing Kiwi tag for a second there. Ben Henry. Sheneth Henry, the dummy half. Links with Ropati, Vogel, to Leo Sevi. Glenora slide. Breaking free, Matt White. Still going, Matt White pulled down just short of the line.
Yeah, Bay Roskill need to link up here, the two halves. So they've gone down the short side, have they? Swung it open. There you go. That's the one. Get it in the hands of this fella.
Tanielu.
Nice.
Pass and into touch.
Sawape, look at that.
What's he doing up there?
I don't know if he was hanging out there having a rest, but that's some great desperation there shown by Sawape, especially if you're 22-6 up. Outstanding. Those are those little effort ones that coaches love.
Yeah, and the smile too.
There's a winger stepping back after that. That's definitely not the type of sight that you want to be looking at. Sawape Kavaliku coming at you. Nice shot there by Sawape. Well done for the front row getting over there, making that try saver.
So not much left in this one now. Might be the last play here for us. Off the scrum, here come Glenora. Mosia Sitter, he's been excellent, particularly coming out of yardage today. He's made a couple little half breaks and worked really hard. Yeah,
he's like carrying an extra back row. A nice run there. It's like carrying an extra back row with the carries that he's been doing today, Corey. So it's he reminds me of the George Jennings types. Obviously, I support Storm. That's why I'm going down that alley. But not much to him. But he's tough on his carries. So well done to Mosia today. He's played well.
Siren sounds in the background. West Auckland, Brick and Block Glenora Bears win this one, 22 points to 6 over the Gilmore's Bay Roskill Vikings in round 5 of the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership. A short break before we are joined by the two captains pitchside. Joining me now, Chase Bernard, captain of the Glenora Bears. Well, Chase, certainly didn't have it all your own way, but it must be nice to come out on top in the arm wrestle of that one.
Yeah, it's always good to get the 2 points. It was a strong game. We were expecting them to come out and play the way they did, but just proud of the boys, the way that they kept us in the game and come out with the win.
I'm sure you had a game plan coming into it to counteract what Bay Roskill do. Did you felt like in the first half you fell away from that, and what was said at half-time to address it?
Not really. I think we did what we said we were going to do. We knew the type of footy that they play. I think it was just, we've never played that type of footy, so I guess we just had to get into it a little bit, and then near the second half it got a bit better.
Through the first 5 rounds now, you remain undefeated. Are you tracking how you want the team to?
Yep, still heaps of room for improvement though. We've won all 5 games, but we haven't played a full 80-minute game yet at 100%, so still looking forward to the game where we do play well for 80 minutes.
Awesome, Chase. Thanks for joining us, and all the best for the next couple of weeks.
Thanks, bye.
Now joining me, a very tired-looking Ben Henry. Well, Ben, you gave it a good run for the money, but in the end there just couldn't quite stick in the arm wrestle. What was the key thing that fell away?
They're a very clinical team. They've obviously done their homework. It doesn't help when you get 2 live stream games. So yeah, teams will do their homework, but we just have to make adjustments, and I think that's the biggest thing for us this week. If teams are going to jam up on the edges, then we need to have a plan B for that.
First half in particular, you soaked up a lot of pressure on your own line and really stayed in that arm wrestle. Is that aspect pleasing?
Yeah, it is. I mean, we're a club that really, we've got our back up against the wall, and to come out against an outfit like Glenora, we've got some really great players. To show that heart for, I guess, the first 40 is pleasing, but when you do that for 80, and that's what wins games.
Through the first month of competition now, the first 5 games, is the, I guess, progression of the style going how you want, and what's your sort of view going into the back end of the qualifiers?
Yeah, we know, it's like it's going to work on some plays, and then it's not going to work on some plays. But that's the way we're going to play, and we just don't have the forward pack like some other clubs have the luxury to have. So we want to use our strengths, and that's using skill and just basically teaching the boys to be footballers.
And yourself, mate, it looks like you're really enjoying your footy out there. Do you feel like this style of footy's kind of reinvigorated you a little bit? You look like you're having a great time out there.
Between trying to suck in some oxygen and passing the ball, no, it's great, and I love playing with these guys. I mean, I know most of them since when they were wearing nappies, and a lot of my brothers and cousins are playing with me now. So that's the thing I really enjoy, the fellowship, and we have our leaders involved, and that's awesome.
Awesome. Hey, Ben, thanks for joining us, and all the best for the next few weeks.
Cheers, Corey. Appreciate it. Thanks, fellas.
That's what I'm talking about. Wait. Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hit it, boys.